welcome to my first ever vlog. So I decided to vlog about my football shoes. So I'm gonna compare my Mizuno Rebula shoes. Actually, I have two. The first one is made in Indonesia, and the second one which is the neon one that I always wear, is made in Japan. So first, I'll be talking about the made in Indonesia one. Where did I buy it? I bought it in Korea last March in one of the Mizuno shops in Hongdae, if I remember correctly. And then they didn't have a made in Japan one, so I decided to get a made in Indonesia one. And I think the cost was about 11,000 to 12,000 pesos. Minus tax, that's, because I got a tax refund, that's about 10,000 pesos. So I got the white one, and this is how it looks like. So, sorry, it's dirty because I've used it already many times. So there. Can you see it? There. And since this is made in Indonesia, the sole is just a plain Mizuno one. Okay, so there. Sorry, put it back. I don't know if you can see it, but it says it's made in Indonesia. So this boot, it's made out of K-leather, kangaroo leather, except for this part, which is synthetic, this silver part, and this one I guess is also synthetic as well. What I love about the made in Indonesia ones, it's easy to break in. The fit on my feet, actually I love it because like my feet are narrow and it's the perfect boot in terms of fit. And then what I love about it also is the design. So when I went to Korea, like I said, there was no made in Japan one, so I had no choice but to buy this. It was really pricey, but I found it very worth it because it's really beautiful. The first time I saw it, I fell in love with it right away. But you know, it's dirty because like I've worn it a lot of times. Okay. So what don't I like about the Rebulas from this made in Indonesia Rebulas? So this is actually one of the first high-end boots that I bought with my own money. So I really made sure to take care of it. But sadly, since I had a league way back and I had to use it during the rain. One of my good friends told me, "Marks, don't use it during the rain because it's leather, and you know what happens when it's leather, you have to dry it really well," or yeah. Anyway, so when I used it, I promised, like I put newspaper inside, I dried it really well. Unfortunately, like the leather started to peel off a bit, but it's okay, it's still like you can still use it. And the sides, I don't know why it became like this, but it felt like it was gonna break right away. But overall, in terms of the fit, I really love it. The design also is so nice. It's just that it's super dirty right now. I recommend this boot because number one, the fit is amazing. Number two, I love the design. Number three, it's very light. Number four, you can easily, you know, break it in. And what else? And it's not slippery. Like when I used it and it was raining, it was good. And it's Mizuno, so I'm a Mizuno girl, so I love Mizuno. So hi guys, now that I have spoken about the made in Indonesia ones, now I will talk about my made in Japan ones. So this is the Rebula, made in Japan, as you can see. And the difference is that, I guess for me, the leather is thicker. But, and this one, it's different, this one, the design of this. So there. So how do you know that it's made in Japan? It comes with a bag that says made in Japan, but unfortunately I can't really find it right now. But how would you also know that it's made in Japan? It comes with these soles, made in Japan. So what do I like about the made in Japan ones? Actually, the leather seems like it's thicker than the made in Indonesia one here. And I've used this indoors, outdoors. I've used this during the rain. And if you look at this, the sides, it's still okay. Unlike the made in Indonesia ones, wherein I don't know why it was coming off. But yes, I will zoom it in. There. There. So, the feel slightly different. I feel like this is a little bit heavier. I don't know, that's just me. But I feel like this would last longer. So there. Now, what don't I like about the made in Japan ones? It's just a slight thing. Like I said, the leather of the made in Indonesia ones are lighter. So it was easier to break in compared to this one. I think it took me weeks because it was hard. Probably because the leather was thicker. So that's just that's just it. Like that's the only thing I didn't like about it. But in terms of the touch with the ball, it's the same. And what else? Oh, in terms of the spikes, it's the same as well. Even if I used it during the rain, it was like the hold was okay. Like it wasn't slippery at all. Now, if you were to ask me what I'd rather buy, is it the made in Japan or the made in Indonesia? Well, when I asked my mom to buy this from Japan, it was about 12,000 pesos. And when I bought this in Korea, it was about 10 to 12,000 pesos. I forgot. Yeah, something up like in that range. Now, if I were to choose which one, if it's basically the same price. If you ask someone to buy this in Japan, so I'd rather go for the made in Japan ones. So if you're on a budget, I'd still get the made in Japan ones because I feel like it's more durable. Like if you compare it, this one, I don't know why the sides are like, I feel like the sides are gonna come off already. And if you compare it to this one, the sides are still intact. There's no problem there. So, okay. So basically that's it. The reason why I got a made in Japan one, like I said, because my mom went to Japan, I just want to take advantage of it. And then, I don't have any complaints with the made in Indonesia one. Because to be honest, it was easier to break in this shoe compared to this, right? But if you're gonna invest in high-end shoes, might as well go all out and get the made in Japan one. So this is the difference. If you look at this, let me untie the shoelace. This one, see that? That's different from this. This one is thicker. The material of this one, like I said, is thicker. This one is thicker as well as compared to this. See? It's not as thick compared to this. Harder to press. So there, that's basically it. But I have a feeling that if I keep using my made in Japan shoes, I think it would reach the same level of softness, I guess, as the one made in Indonesia. This one, there's a peel already. Well, if you check this out, I've used this in the rain, there's none. If you're to ask me what I'd rather get the made in Japan shoes because I feel like if you're gonna spend money on high-end shoes, might as well go all out and get the best. I also know, or I feel like that if I get the made in Japan ones, it would last longer as compared to the made in Indonesia shoes. I heard that the made in Indonesia ones right now are about 5 to 7,000 pesos or 7,500 pesos. But I don't think it's available in a lot of countries because like in the Philippines, there's none. There's only made in Japan. So my suggestion is just ask someone or ask a friend to go to Japan and buy the made in Japan shoes for you. Because that's the cheapest way you'll get the shoes. And I promise you, you won't regret it.